In this video, I'm going to show you the best and easiest marketing funnel that you can use to attract and close high-ticket deals for your service-based business. In fact, my clients routinely charge $5,000 to $25,000 for their services, and they're all using this one same funnel. I'll go ahead and sketch the entire funnel out on a mind map. I will go step by step and show you how to nail every step of the funnel. And on top of that, I'm going to give you live real examples of other businesses, 7 and 8 figure businesses that are using this super simple marketing funnel to literally generate tens of millions of dollars in sales. So it's not going to be one of those theoretical videos, but I'm actually going to show you real proof and real examples of maybe even your competitors running these funnels. And if you stay until the end of this video, I'm also going to tell you how you can get a free copy of this marketing funnel mind map so that you can pretty much steal it and copy paste it into your business. Hi, my name's Nazim and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a marketing consultant, and in the last 10 years, I've made my clients over $40 million in sales. And one of the biggest principles I like to follow is that I like to keep things simple. And the marketing funnels that I use for my clients is no exception. What I'd like to make very clear in this video is that there's all sorts of funnels that you can run for your business. There's low ticket funnels, there's webinars, there's VSLs, there's all sorts of stuff. You can DM people on Instagram, but what really matters is principles. And how any marketing funnel works is it basically, you take traffic, essentially attention or clicks on your posts, on your emails, or on your ads, for example, and then you send them to a place where they get to figure out what your offer is, understand the value, and then they make a decision if they would like to basically give it a shot or not, right? So what I want to do is I want to sketch a mind map that you can basically use with any sort of traffic that, for example, you generate in your business. This means this training is going to be relevant to you if you run ads, but also it's going to be relevant to you if, for example, if you have a good social media following and you basically want to figure out how to monetize your audience, or if you're sending out cold emails, for example. Again, what matters really is the principles and obviously the steps, and what to include on each step I'm going to explain in this very same video. But I just wanted to make sure that you understand that there's no one specific funnel that will work 100% of the time, but what's going to work 100% of the time is understanding how principles work. And once you understand that, then sky's the limit. Then you understand that actually it's never about one specific funnel, but it's really about just taking traffic that you have and then sending it to a page. And then also, obviously, I'll give you some know-how how to absolutely rock that page where you're sending people so they really get the full value. And then that's it. They're going to book a call with you, and then you will close them on a sales call. Now, obviously, sales is going to be a completely different topic. So let's focus on marketing funnels in this video. Without any further ado, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to switch to my computer screen and then basically do a full walkthrough of the mind map and show you some real examples. Okay, perfect. As you can see, we're inside of the mind map on my Miro board. You probably also see that I have some tabs open because I also want to show you real examples, not just for basically landing pages that I'm going to show you, but also for different sources of traffic. So essentially, again, like kind of like zoom out a little bit here. The bird's eye view on any funnel is that you take traffic, essentially eyeballs or clicks, people that are attracted to what you have to sell, and then you send them to a landing page where basically you explain to them your offer, and then you basically take them through a sales process where you first book them for a setting call, then for a sales call. The biggest value in this video is going to be again in the examples that I'm going to be showing you, but let's start with step number one, which is going to be traffic. Now, traffic, again, I don't like to keep up with any specific dogma that only ads work or only cold emails work or organic content is the only thing that works, because I've been in this industry for 10 years now. Well, I think actually 11 now. And literally I've had clients who became multimillionaires by having a strong Instagram profile. And I've also had clients who literally achieved 8 figures, which is how I have the 8-figure plaque from ClickFunnels, by running ads. Right, so essentially all sorts of traffic work, and one of the examples I'm going to be bringing up in this video is Cole Gordon. He's a sales trainer. I've actually been his client, paid him money for his services, was very happy with it, send him a bunch of clients. And then also, so basically ads is one source of traffic. As you can see, they're running ads, right? As you can see, there's
coaches and agencies,
right, boom, there's one ad. There's an image ad they run. So basically, as far as traffic goes, ads is one way to do it, but then there's other ways, right? Because you can also do like DMs, right? There's this one guy that I also follow sometimes. His name is Dan Bolton, and basically the way he runs the traffic part for his funnel is he's basically doing DMs. He doesn't run ads, or at least I didn't see any on my news feed. What I did see is that he basically sends a lot of people to basically DM him. And when you DM him, he's got an Instagram automation that basically takes you through a couple of questions that then sends you to the sales page, right? So that's one. DMs also work apparently. And then it can be organic content as well. As you can see, organic content is another thing that could work. And here I'm gonna have to bring myself as an example, right? You can come and watch some of my YouTube videos, and then obviously if you like it, you basically scroll down and you can click to go to nazimconsulting.com, which is my website, which is loading surprisingly low. I'll have to look into that. But I just wanted to make sure that you understand that this funnel that I'm going to show you works with all sorts of traffic. You can also send cold emails and stuff like that. So that's traffic, right? That's one piece of it. Now, after we basically get the person to click on our ad or on our cold email or the link in the organic content, the next piece is going to be the landing page. Now, the reason I like this funnel setup so much is because it's not complicated. Because like I said again, there's all sorts of different funnel setups. There's low ticket where you can sell something for cheap. You can sign up people to watch a webinar where they have to wait and then they have to attend. And I've ran all of these funnels. What I like about basically the video funnel or VSL funnel, VSL stands for video sales letter, is the simplicity. And the reason why the simplicity is good is because a lot of you watching this training can basically implement it very easily. Now, if you already have a VSL funnel or you've tried it and maybe it didn't work for you, keep still watching this video because I'm going to spill some golden nuggets that you can pick on and try to basically redo the funnel, and maybe this time it's going to work out for you perfectly, hopefully. So essentially, when we're looking at the VSL landing page, it's got a headline, a benefit-driven headline, it's got a video, the VSL itself, and then there's call to action, right? I also like to include some testimonials, real proof that this actually works, and then another call to action, right? So the design for the landing page for the VSL is very simple, and let's actually look at some landing pages from, start with Cole Gordon, for example, because once you come here and you click on his ad, boom, maybe I click on this, another quiz funnel, okay. So this is one of the landing pages he runs. He runs multiple, multiple ads that go to multiple destinations, and this is one of them, right? It's for coaches, course creators, and agency owners, right? As you can see, the headline is very simple, and what I recommend when you're basically writing your headline is to keep it down to the main thing. If you're in the B2B offer, especially if you're in the B2B offer, you literally, the only structure for your headline that you can use and it's going to work perfectly fine most of the time, 90% of the time, is call out for your audience like XYZ, like calling out, basically for manufacturers or again, like for coaches, course creators or consultants. And then you basically say, if you'd like to achieve an XYZ result in an XYZ time frame, then watch this video. Or you can say, my clients have used this method, and you can call your method whatever, to produce such results, right? My clients have used this framework to produce $40 million in sales in the last 10 years. Here's how, right? So make it benefit driven and make it tangible. Now, if you are running in a niche that is not B2B, it still works. It still works. Same principles apply. For example, if you're in weight loss, the same principles apply. Headline can be, hey, are you an XYZ person? Like, are you a busy corporate professional who has a sedentary lifestyle, doesn't have time for fitness, but still want to look your best in your swimsuit or like in your bikini or whatever? then watch this video how I've helped 100 plus busy professionals reshape their body in only 48 days, right? So that's that. And then comes the VSL, right? Now, what I like about Cole's page is obviously it's simple. Actually, I watched some of his videos and he kept referring to this page as extremely ugly, and I didn't understand what he meant until I actually saw it. And this page is indeed ugly, but it converts. Now, obviously, you don't have to make it so simple, but you can, right? Or if you want, you can add some slide design elements, but the main blocks still remain the same: headline, VSL, call to action button. Now, he doesn't have any testimonials here. I would recommend that you add some, right? Now, the biggest piece of this entire funnel is the VSL, right? And I would like to take a couple of minutes to actually talk about how to nail your VSL funnel, and actually have some notes here in front of me. And let's talk about it. So the VSL, your VSL needs to be 10 to 15 minutes long. You don't have to go any longer than that. I think in some cases you can get away by going up to 20 minutes. That's also fine, especially if it's engaging. But I remember back in the webinar days, for example, the webinar would have to be at least an hour long or an hour 30 minutes long. You don't have to do that with VSLs. The days of webinar are kind of like in the past. People don't want to sit through a 60 to 90 minute video, the TikTok generation, but 10 to 15 to maybe 20 minutes is perfectly fine. Now, because your video is going to have to be 10 to 15 minutes long, it needs to be very dynamic, right? So the positive is that it's short, right? You don't need to yabber on for a whole hour or an hour plus. On the other hand, you'll have to basically really work on creating a solid structure that delivers all the value you need to deliver in those 10-15 minutes. Again, on the right side is you just blast through those 10-15 minutes and then you're done, right? So the hook of the VSL, and your VSL is going to be basically broken down into multiple chunks. If I can basically name the chunks, it's going to go like this. It's going to be the hook. Then you're going to tell them about what people get wrong in the industry, right? Or basically about weight loss, or about making money online, or about generating leads, whatever, or about their back pain, doesn't matter. Then what people get wrong, about your method and what makes your method so unique or superior to others. Then you're going to give some client results, real client results. Then you're going to give a quick bird's eye view on how your method works. And I highly recommend that you turn your frame into a number tiered framework, right? So you go step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Don't just say, hey, my method is going to help you lose weight. Don't say that. What you should say instead is, the way I help you lose weight is via 4 steps, right? The first one is going to be, let's say, I'm going to be going over your injury history, and we're going to try to understand essentially what your limits are around exercise. Step number 2, based off of that, we're going to create an exercise plan that is not only going to avoid parts where you are prone to injury, but we're also going to strengthen those parts so that your body gets stronger holistically. Then step number 3 is going to be basically talk about psychology or your relation with food. So basically you describe it as a process, and now it looks like an actual system. And there's something about systems that when people hear that it's a system, they believe in the thing a lot more than if you just promise them, hey, I'm going to get you some results. So you give them the bird's eye view on the method, then you give them more client results. You can spend like 2 to 3 minutes, maybe even 4 minutes to talking about your client results, and then you give them a call to action. So again, hook, what most people get wrong or what the industry gets wrong. What do you get right and why your method is superior? A quick result, maybe like 10-15 seconds to back up your claim. A bird's eye view on your method, then like a bigger chunk with your client results, and then a call to action. That's it. So that should be your VSL structure. Now, let's go back to... Okay, now we're back on Cole's landing page. In fact, what I would also like to do is look at some other landing pages. And here I have a landing page from this guy. His name is Charlie Morgan. I think that's his name. And I know he has a YouTube channel as well. Now, you will see that his landing page seems to be a lot longer. Still, if you look at it from a bird's eye view, he follows the same principles and has the exactly same elements like Cole. So for example, Cole's video, 11 minutes. Charlie's video, let's have a look, 7 minutes, right? So he's even more to the point than Cole. So again, there's no real need why you have to do a whole 20-minute shebang. Now looking at Charlie's landing page, again, discover how we guarantee 52 high-ticket clients in the next 52 weeks. Boom. There's nothing else that you basically need to write. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Again, he calls out for marketing agency owners, coaches, consultants, and course sellers, and then he basically tells them the promise that he promises to fulfill on. Now, again, obviously, you're supposed to watch the video and book a call, and then he also gives client results, right? And there's also like a short explanation of what's going to happen on the discovery call. Now, going back to our mind map, so we've just covered the landing pages, and again, the biggest takeaways here is that it doesn't have to be fancy. It does not have to be created in Webflow with some fancy design elements. It has to be relatively short. Actually, relatively like shortness and simplicity is a benefit, not a drawback. And the most important thing you'll have to nail is the headline and the VSL, and that's it. And then obviously I think it helps a lot to have testimonials on there. That's it. I think a landing page like this you can bang out in probably one day. Granted, then you have to record the VSL separately. Actually, the landing page design itself you can probably get done in 20 minutes, and that's a big plus. Now, next, what happens is after people watch your VSL, they have to obviously book a call with you, right? Now, when it comes to booking a call here, as you can see, there's multiple ways how people do it, right? For example, on Cole's funnel, what he first does is he first runs you through an application form, and then he invites you to book a call. In fact, let's go through it. I hope Cole is not going to mind me going through his funnel and submit a test form. And if you're watching it, sorry, I sent you tons of business, so pardon me for that. So again, let's go over the form. Let me do this. Let me actually call myself a test so then they can disregard this as a test submission, so they're not confused that, hey, it's an actual real lead that applied. And then we're going to put a very standard US number. Okay. And then what's your monthly revenue? Let's say 10, 15, 20, 25K. This is a test submission, right? So we're going to click submit. I'm the owner. Perfect. Now, and also keep in mind how interesting their form is, because while you're answering questions, I also noticed that they're kind of actually qualifying me, right? They ask me if I'm the decision maker. They ask me how much money I make to see if I have the finances. They ask me if I'm in their right target audience, if I'm a coach, consultant, or an agency owner. So they're really ticking off the boxes and they're qualifying me, right? They're qualifying if I'm the right authority, if I have the right budget. So they're running me through a band. Budget, authority, needs, timing. Timing is what it stands for. Well, they didn't ask me about timing really, but it's still, they take 3 out of 4 boxes. Now we'll land on this page and you can basically book a call. Now, I booked a test submission a while ago with him and I saved the thank you page, so I'm not going to do it again out of respect to the sales team, but the thank you page we're going to discuss in a moment. But you can see that Cole follows a 2-tiered questionnaire, right? Two-step booking process. He first asks you questions and then he sends you to a calendar. That's it. Now, if we look at Charlie Morgan in this case, it's a little bit different, right? So with Charlie here, we're gonna come here and everything is already on this side, on this page, right? We're gonna click next. We're gonna say test at test.com. Again, Charlie, please do apologize. It's just a sacrifice to essentially to educate the world of internet. So take one for the team. So he says, we only work with marketing agency owners. Boom. Awesome. And you see how also very specific these guys are from the get-go when they basically ask the kind of business you run, right? So legally, we cannot work with anyone under 18 years old. I think he asks that because he has a lot of younger people following him. But let's say I'm 26 to 30. I'm not. Actually, I'm 31 this August. So let me not lie to my audience. What's your monthly revenue? Let's say I'm at 5 to 20K. What's your target revenue? This is the target revenue. What's stopping me? Appointment booking. What's stopping me, right? So he's basically, again, he's qualifying me for budget, right? He's qualifying, and now here is qualifying me for essentially the need, right? What's stopping me? And what do you charge for your services? Say 500 to 1,000. Test. Are you the decision maker? He's basically looking. He's qualifying me for authority. I'll respect your time. I will show up. You know what, guys? Out of respect for Charlie, I will actually not book. All right, because I'm sure we're just gonna land on a similar thank you page like Cole Gordon, because I still have respect for my colleagues. But it's still interesting how he has a setup where he basically shows the calendar immediately. Now, if you ask my personal opinion, what I like is actually neither of these systems. What I like is essentially have a landing page, click on the button, and then on that page to have a Calendly page, right, or a Schedule Once page. So essentially, like Charlie has here, and then have the questions in there, right? I would not want to include essentially the form on the first page with the VSL because I feel like it would kind of distract people, and instead I would put it on the next page. But both systems work. But if you're asking my opinion, I would include a button here underneath the VSL, and then on the next page I would have the Schedule Once the Calendar form with questions embedded, right? And I would not separate and do type form and then the book a call. I think separating these two processes, it's basically people drop off after they go through a type form. Then when they are invited to book a call, a lot of people drop off. So I don't like that drop off. I like to do everything in one go. I do feel like Charlie asks one too many questions here. But I personally think it's because his audience, I think, is very young. So he tries to do like a very good job of really qualifying them. But if you run a business where you're working with people that are more or less capable of paying for your services, especially B2B, that's just, you can keep it down to as many questions as a call, for example, asked. But if you're running a non-business offer, maybe you should add as many questions. So that's that. Now, next is the thank you page. And in this case, we only have Cole's example because I didn't want to book it with Charlie. But with the thank you page is actually the second most important page in the funnel. And also maybe even, it's not as important as the VSL. Okay, I'll tell you that. But this thank you page video is still incredibly important. And I'm surprised that so many people don't have it. Actually, most people don't have it, which is kind of funny because you can bang it out all in one session. You can record the VSL and then you can record the thank you page. Now, what's also very interesting that I would like to bring to your attention is that his thank you page video is actually longer than his VSL. So isn't that not interesting? That's to me, that's very interesting because his VSL is 11 minutes and then his thank you page video is 12 minutes. So maybe thank you page is more important than the VSL. No, it's not. But still, it's incredibly important that you take the time to educate your audience before the sales call happens. Because think about it, someone watches a 10-minute video or 15-minute video on Monday and then they book for Wednesday. By Wednesday's time, that person is already going to forget the VSL. Also, they're not really going to have any sort of expectation or information about what's going to happen on the call. On the VSL, you're basically busy selling the call. And you're so busy selling the call that you don't really talk much about what's going to happen on the call. Now, on the thank you page, this is your prime time to sell actually the call as well. And this is the biggest mindset shift. Most people think that after they sold the call itself and people booked, that's it, end of the journey, but it's not. After you book the call, you also have to lock it in and make sure that you actually sell them on the idea of showing up on the call because it's still a sales call. right? A lot people are can be afraid or reluctant, so you show them the great value that's going to happen on the sales call, and that's what's going to encourage them to actually show up. Right now, I have another slide here for the thank you page script that you can use. So let's go over the thank you page script that you can use. So again, on the thank you page video, there's a couple of boxes you have to tick off with your clients. Now, the first one is obviously congratulations on booking the call. And then you have to say, please watch this video. Make sure to watch this video. It's incredibly important to make sure that we get the most out of our call. You're going to invest 45 minutes with me. I'll be there. Let's not waste time, right? So here are a couple, and then you go into the next section and you say, here are the couple housekeeping rules, right? And there's always three, right? If you do any sort of online business, online sales, if you deliver services online, when you get on calls with people, sales calls, especially sales calls, you tell them about three things. Number one, they have to have a good, stable internet connection. Number two, they have to set aside exact amount of time as you've planned for a sales call. So if it's going to be 30 minutes, they have to set aside 30 minutes. If it's 60, it's 60. And then they have to be in a quiet space. Now, it sounds kind of obvious, right? That you would expect people to do it, but don't expect that people won't do it. You have to explicitly tell them, because I think personally I've been on hundreds of calls and I've watched multiples, hundreds. I don't want to say thousands of calls, but I think I've watched up to 700-800 sales calls in all the 10 years, and you'll be surprised how many times. I would say maybe like 30% of the time, 30, 35, one of these rules were broken, even maybe 50, depends on the audience. So make sure to be explicit about three things. Then you tell them, okay, now here's what we're exactly gonna cover on the call. And this is your opportunity to basically show them the value that they're gonna get on the sales call. Look, we're all grown adults. I understand that it's a sales call. At the end, you're gonna sell them something, and they don't know that as well. But in this video and in this moment, you can actually tell them that despite the fact that there's going to be a pitch at the end, you will still, the sales call is not designed to just get the sale. The sales call is designed to actually understand their business or understand their situation and try to help them, right? And you try to help them by basically auditing whatever their struggles are, and then coming up with some sort of game plan that you discuss with them. And then if they would like to implement it with you, then great, they pay. And if they don't, they don't. But this is the big value, because if you think about it, these people never really sit down and think about their pain points or their problems. They complain about them to their friends or to themselves, but they don't really not a lot of people sit down and basically create a game plan, and that's exactly what you should do on your sales calls. You create a game plan with them, and they really see the value. And even though it's a sales call, it's still a valuable one, right? So that's what the value should. Sorry, there's something in my beard. That's the value you should basically portray. Then the next thing you should say is basically who you are and why you should listen to me. This is also very important, especially if they're coming from an ad. If they're coming from organic content, they've binge watched your YouTube videos or your Instagram course or whatever, then it's fine. But if they're coming from a video ad or like some sort of ad where they clicked, or like a cold email, you should take the 2-3 minutes of your time to actually go through your credentials, the proof, and essentially all of your accolades, and basically sell them on that. Then you again go over the process and what makes your process superior to your competitors. You explain the process again, because really the reason why people buy from you is going to be for two reasons. Number one, they like you, and then number two, they actually believe in your process, which is why one of the biggest questions you should ask on sales calls before you ever drop the price or mention the price is, how do you feel on a scale from 0 to 10? How do you feel about our process or our product? And if it's anything below 8, 0 to 10, if it's anything below 8, you should not drop the price, and you should try to understand why is it that this person doesn't believe in your product, because they're not going to buy. Then you include again quick reel of testimonials, and here comes the kicker. You can actually include this last part that I have here, the homework, you can actually mention it even earlier. You can actually mention it right after the value, the second part where you explain the value of the call. You should also say, okay, cool, and help you prepare better for the call. Here's homework. What I like about giving homework, and the homework doesn't really have to be like super sophisticated or complex. It can be just like 5-6 questions that they have to think about before getting on a call with you. The reason why I like homeworks, or the concept of giving them resources that they should basically plan for before getting on a sales call with you, is because number one, it makes them take things a lot more seriously. That's number one. Number two, if they actually do it, and half the people won't do it, by the way, but if they will do it, it will basically prepare them more for and make them more problem aware before ever getting on a sales call with you, which is great. And then number three, it basically gives you an opportunity to kind of like mentor them a little bit before ever the sales call happens. Right, so before even the sales call happened, you have the opportunity to ask them right questions, which is one of the big things that a mentor does, to ask the right questions, and then also already have like a positive influence and impact on them before ever getting on a sales call with them. Right, so again, the VSL should be 10-15 minutes long, and this is a very simple breakdown. This is the thank you page. Again, for the thank you page, I haven't really covered the little mock-up of the design I have, but it should be, again, a headline. The headline should always be this: watch this video before you get on a sales call with me, right? And it's funny, it says watch 2-minute video, and it's a 12-minute video. But you should say, watch this quick video before you get on a call with me. And then I would highly recommend to have like a resource. You can literally link a PDF document that opens in a new tab to the button. Then you have testimonials, and that's it. So great. So thank you page done, right? Guys, I'm explaining everything very explicitly, and this video is probably going to turn into like a 40-50 minute video, but it doesn't mean that it has to take you days to implement this. I think with videos, if you say, okay, you're recording video for one day, you're putting together digital assets for like 1 or 2 more days, this should not take you even a full week to implement it, okay? So then going on to the next page, after the thank you page, going on to the next step is going to be a sales call. Now, what kind of sales call? Because there's different schools of thought. There's people who basically do a sales call immediately, where you basically will try to close the deal, quote unquote, right, as they like to say, or to enroll that client into your services. And that's usually a longer call, 45 to 60 minutes, or it can be a 15-20 minute vetting call, also called a setting call, where you basically will try to see if that person is qualified to make an offer to in the first place. I personally like setting calls first, and then you basically send them on a sales call, especially if you're a business owner and you're still taking a lot of the sales calls in your business. Let's say you're making below 100K, and in my opinion, if you're making below 100K, you should still take most of the sales calls, closing calls in your business. The first person, for example, you can hire is a setter, right? Who would qualify all the prospects that get into your pipeline, and make sure that you only talk with cream of the crop leads. Now, setting call. What I decided to do in this video is also cover how setting calls work, right? Now, this is not like just it's not a standalone, full-on setting call YouTube training, which I'll also record in the future, but still this explanation is going to be good enough for you to start getting in the mindset of basically how to qualify people on setting calls, right? So let's have a look at that. By the way, this setting call structure I adopted from Cole Gordon, which is why I used to be his client. Make sure to go follow him on YouTube if you like. Now, for setting calls, there's a very simple structure. First, you basically start by creating report and then frame. So you basically say, hey, is this Chris? Yes, it's Chris. Hi, my name's Nazim. You booked for this program. Do you remember? Yeah, okay, cool. Well, nice to be talking to you. What I'd like to do in the next 10 minutes that we have set aside here is basically to try to dive into everything. Let's say it's a B2B offer and you're running an agency and you help them generate leads. What I'd like to understand is what is it that's not working as far as lead gen is concerned in your business, and then basically kind of like see all the assets that you're dealing with and look at your business. And then by the end of it, after I ask you a couple of questions, I can tell with some good assurance, like if we can really help you or not, right? And if we can help you, then I can set you up with a demo. And if I can, then I'm going to send all the best resources that I can think of. And yeah, hopefully you get at least some value like that. Does that sound fair? Now, framing is very important because you basically dictate the leadership of the call, right? And you're very honest and upfront about with them about what's going to happen. And if you don't frame the call, they're going to start barraging you with their questions and drag you along their agenda. And I don't want to turn this sales call as to some sort of like power play between you and the prospect. It should never be you versus them. It should be the two of you together, which is exactly why you should lead it, because you're the expert. And you leading it will essentially guarantee and ensure that you essentially get all the most vital information that you need out of the prospect to make an educated decision. With a doctor, you don't expect to basically bantering with doctor about your problems. You come to a doctor and he asks you questions. He assumes the leadership role should be the same. Then information gathering. For information gathering, it's very simple. I highly recommend that you just run them through a band framework: budget, authority, needs, and timing. You basically see if they have the money, if they're the decision maker, if they have the need for your services, and then if it's a good time for them to be actually, kind of like focusing on solving the problem that they applied to work with you. What Cole likes to basically do in the information gathering phase, besides band, is basically understand what their problem is and then what their goal is, right? He likes to call it hell versus heaven island. So, right, so the situation they're in at the moment with the pain is the hell island, and then the goal where they want to be is the heaven island, right? So it's good. Do this especially on the sales call, like go super deep. But on a setting call, look, to make it super simple for you, just try to understand what's their pain point, what's their goal, if they have the money, if they're the right person who's going to make the decision on this demo call if you schedule it, and if they have essentially, if it's a priority for them at this point, right? You can ask a simple question as, when you ask them about their goal, right? Hey, I would like to make 50K per month. Okay, well, what's the timeline, right? Like, do you have like an actual deadline when you would like to hit this revenue? If he says in 2 years, or she, well, that's not really serious. If they say, yeah, it's Q1, by Q2 I want to be at 50K per month already, okay, we're talking. And then basically figure out, can you help them? And then you just transition. You say, hey, cool, look, Chris, based on what we talked about, we can totally help. Matter of fact, we helped 3 other clients similar to you in your industry just past month to surpass 50K per month. And yeah, I would love to talk to you and basically walk you through how we work. Would you be interested in that? Have them come to you, kind of like do like a little buy-in. Don't just push all the time. Have them to come to you, kind of like pull back, have them come to you. Yeah, I would love that. Perfect. And then book them for a sales call. Now, when you book them for a sales call, you have to send them sales reminders. Now, for both setting calls and sales calls, or like closing calls, I like to run a similar cadence of basically reminders before a sales call, a sales meeting takes place. What I would like to do is to send them a confirmation once the meeting gets booked. Hey, congratulations! This is when we're meeting, at what time, blah blah blah. And also with that, I like to send them some helpful resources, especially when you book them for a setting call. You send them that same helpful resource that's on the thank you page, right? You send them that, and then you basically send them reminders. I would say pretty generic reminders, 24 hours before, 3 hours before, and then you can even skip 1 hour. You can just do 10 minutes. Or if you want to be extra, kind of like a bit too much, you can do 24 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour. You can, let me do this. You can do like this, 24, 6, 1, 10 minutes. Honestly, I keep changing it in my clients' businesses all the time personally. And you basically play it by the ear and look at the sort of feedback that people give to you to see, if you're being too much or not. Now, obviously, I went ahead and I took you throughout this mind map. But if you have a business, an online service-based business, where you're either running processes like this, online lead generation and online sales, but they're not working at the level where you believe they should, or you don't have these systems at all, go to nazimconsulting.com and book a free audit call with me, where I'm going to get on a call with you for 30 minutes. I'm going to ask you questions about your online funnels and online sales processes, and then basically give you a game plan that you can implement in your business to start consistently generating and closing leads and sales with simple systems like that. But besides that, please give this video a thumbs up, like this video, and also go ahead and check out a playlist on my YouTube channel. It's called How to Grow Your Business. This is where I go more in depth in how to craft your offer, how to essentially audit and fix your marketing and lead generation systems, and then how to improve your sales, online sales, how to track it, and then what to basically do when a certain part of your sales process is broken. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it was valuable, and I'll see you in the next one.